The old man at the archaeological site approached Elise and spoke in a whisper.
"You look so like them."
Elise took in the man's sad expression and wondered who he meant. "Sir, who do you think I look like?" The man shook his head and walked away. Elise felt uneasy. Professor Clark had also been avoiding her, but she wasn't sure why. Another man approached Elise and introduced himself as Peter King, a fellow expert on restoring paintings. He gestured for one of his colleagues to come forward.
"Elise, this is Abraham Wells. He's very gifted at restoring ceramics."
Elise had heard of Abraham Wells. She greeted him with a wide smile and shook his hand eagerly. Peter turned to Abraham.
"This is Elise. She's David Russell's granddaughter and inherited his talent as a restorer of paintings."
Abraham's eyes lit up, and he looked at Elise with great interest.
"Have you ever tried your hand at ceramic restoration?"
"No, but I've always wanted to learn." Abraham stroked his beard pensively.
"Would you like to learn from me while you're here?"
Elise was stunned. She'd never expected a master of his caliber to offer her tutelage so freely. She nodded eagerly. "I have my own job to do here, but yes, I'd love the opportunity to learn from you." Abraham beamed at Elise.
"It is hard work and lonely, though you probably have experienced that already with your work in paintings. I'm told I can be a harsh teacher, but if you're willing to put up with a grumpy old man, I'd love to share my knowledge with you."
Elise laughed. "My grandfather was also a grumpy old man, yet I had no complaints learning from him. Where are you based?"
"I'm based in New York, though I travel a lot."
Elise's smile widened. "That's perfect. I'm also a New Yorker, so we could continue our work in the city if you'd like." Elise and Abraham exchanged contact information and parted happily. Elise was excited. The rest of the day passed uneventfully. She worked on the painting, she had dinner, she called Zach, and went to bed early. She kept tossing and turning, but sleep wouldn't come. Suddenly, she heard what sounded like a flute coming from outside her window. Elise was surprised. She remembered that Jonathan had once played, and he was good at it too. She wanted to know who the mysterious flute player was, and she snuck outside to look. She was stopped by the 2 bodyguards stationed outside the door.
"Madam, where are you going?"
"I can't sleep, and I thought I would go for a walk to clear my head. Would you be willing to come with me?"
"Certainly, madam."
Elise's interest was captured by the sight of an old bridge. She walked towards it and saw that standing on the bridge, there was a handsome, short-haired man playing the flute. From the silhouette, the figure looked like Preston. Another man began to approach their group from the opposite side of the road. The bodyguards whispered among themselves, wondering if the man on the road might be Zach. Elise had been sure the man on the bridge was Preston. The man on the road got close enough to their group. It really was Zach. She couldn't believe her eyes. She moved to greet him. "What are you doing here?" "I couldn't sleep, and then I had this wonderful music coming from outside, so I wanted to go for a walk and find where it was coming from." Before Zach could respond, the flute player on the bridge put his flute away and walked in their direction. It was Preston. Zach was furious. He wanted to believe that Elise was not having an affair with the other man, but this was highly suspicious. He stormed off furiously in the opposite direction. Elise realized that Zach probably thought she was having some kind of secret nighttime meeting with Preston. She chased after him for a while, but couldn't catch up. She tripped and fell on the ground, her knees slamming hard against the pavement. She cried out in pain. Zach heard her cry, stopped, and turned to investigate the cause. "How did you manage to hurt yourself?" Elise glared at him. "I was chasing after you, to explain that there's absolutely nothing going on between me and Preston. I tripped and fell." Zach sighed and offered Elise a hand up. "Let's get you back to bed." From a distance, Preston watched the scene unfold between Elise and Zach. Back in the guest house, Zach placed first aid cream and a bandage on Elise's skinned knee.
Does it still hurt?
Elise shook her head. Not anymore. There was an uncomfortable pause. Elise broke the silence first. I'd had a nightmare and woke up feeling anxious. Then I heard this beautiful music and felt compelled to find the source. I had no idea it was Preston. Zach was angry, but not at Elise. He sensed that Elise was honest with him, but he didn't believe that Preston's presence on the bridge was a coincidence. Elise pulled him onto the bed next to her. Stay for a few days. I'd like to have you here. Zach hummed his agreement. He spent 3 peaceful, uneventful days with Elise in Egypt. Elise was relieved that Zach seemed to have gotten past his jealousy. His accusations were baseless, but she wasn't blind to how it looked. They just needed to survive this assignment together, and then everything else would be easy.
Hi, I'm Elise. Want to know my story? Then download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of After the Divorce. Now,